Hi, I'm Tiffany Williams. This is my third speech for CST 100, and this is my one class. When you think of the origins of tobacco, what do you think of? I typically think of Native Americans smoking the plant from their long tobacco pipes. These were referred to as peace pipes. This is a gentleman here smoking tobacco. According to cancercouncil.com EU, this is an Australian website, tobacco has been grown wild in the Americas for nearly 8,000 years. 2,000 years ago, tobacco began to be chewed and smoked during cultural or religious ceremonies and events. Years ago, it was much more popular than it is now. Smoking sections were designated in just about all restaurants without a special ventilation system needed as is needed now. There was a time not long ago that smoking was allowed on public airplanes, according to the Wikipedia webpage for in-flight smoking. Smoking on domestic U.S. airliners, for instance, was banned on all domestic flights with a duration of 2 hours or less beginning in 1988, with all planes being smoke-free by the end of the 1990s. So that's not really that long ago. Smoking is a very common practice, and you can see people of all walks of life. I think everyone in this classroom actually, for the most part, enjoys nicotine. You can see people of all walks of life smoking in public places, especially around bars. People love nicotine with their alcohol. Despite it being a popular practice in America, it is not any longer new news that the practice is unhealthy. First, I want to go into further detail in reference to how tobacco is harmful. Nicotine in itself isn't what is harmful. I found an article on Forbes.com where there was a quote by a guy named Michael Russell. He is the father of tobacco harm reduction and the developer of nicotine gum. He explained it like this: people smoke for nicotine, but they die from tar. What he's basically saying is people get addicted to the nicotine in cigarettes. It's highly addictive, but it's the smoking, the combustion from a cigarette that's actually harming us. There was actually a decision made recently where the FDA decided to minimize the allowed amount of nicotine in cigarettes. This decision was made in hoping of decreasing the smoking rate in the United States. As I said, though, nicotine isn't what is killing us, it is how we are receiving the nicotine. We light a cigarette either by a match or a lighter and puff on the cigarette, drawing in chemicals and tar. This stuff gunks up our lungs, and they are no longer able to form how they're meant to. I'll show you a picture. The lungs on the left are a smoker's lungs, and they're actually black, and then the pink lungs, that's how a healthy individual's lungs would look, someone that doesn't smoke. For my second point, I'd like to talk about my personal relationship with smoking. I started smoking around 2007. When I first started going to college, I would meet with a friend from high school. She smoked. I think she started smoking when she was like 16. But anyways, I thought it was cool. She was cool, so I wanted to try to smoke, and eventually I ended up getting addicted to the drug that is in the cigarette. About 3 years ago, I stopped smoking traditional cigarettes, and I started using e-cigarettes, nicotine gum. I tried the patches. I didn't do so good with those because I have sensitive skin. But anyways, I've tried many times to go without smoking at all. I was only ever successful for about a year, and that's because I was pregnant. And literally right after I would have my children, I would start smoking again. It's really, really, really hard. I mean, when I attempt to stop smoking, I get really grouchy, nervous. My head just feels like it's in the clouds. I can't focus at all. I'm not someone that anyone wants to be around. So I wanted to show you some forms of nicotine. So this is an e-cigarette, like a heavy-duty vaping thing that you put an e-liquid in. There are packs cigarettes, traditional cigarettes. And then I have gum. I love the gum, especially for places that you are not allowed to smoke, like work, that kind of stuff. Here are some nicotine patches, and here are some smaller e-cigarette devices. This is a Juul. It's quite popular. You might have heard of it. This is a disposable e-cigarette. In closing today, I've discussed a little bit about the history, how it started, smoking, and then I spoke with you about how it's unhealthy, a little bit of my history with smoking and how it's like super hard for me to quit. It's an act that's been done for at least 2,000 years now. I've been smoking one form or another since I was 18. I'm now 29, so that's like 11 years of nicotine use. It's terribly addictive. It's really bad for you, harmful for you if you're doing it through the means of a cigarette. The science isn't completely out with e-cigarettes and probably just as unhealthy, but I don't have to deal with the smoke and the smell and that kind of stuff. Hopefully one day my will to quit will outweigh my dependence on nicotine. I would like to be able to say one day I've put the unhealthy, costly habit behind me.